Hey there, welcome back. I am Marina Ormes, and this is the Astro Vibe for Thursday, September 22nd. And today we're looking at self-expression with the moon in Leo and self-expression for the different zodiac signs. So what is your authentic self-expression for your zodiac sign? And in yesterday's video, I discussed Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So if you're one of those signs, you definitely want to go review that video. And then today we're going to be going into Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And what is the best self-expression for your zodiac sign? One of the reasons we're talking about this, not only is the moon in Leo, but we have an astrological a push from the stars, right? So sometimes the planets align in ways that create some challenges or some pressure on us, and that's happening during this particular Leo moon. Every time the moon's in Leo around this time period, this will happen. But the moon is forming a T-square with the planets Saturn and Uranus, which Saturn and Uranus have been in a square with each other, most notably throughout 2021. They were creating some pressure to transform the status quo, to shake up our systems and institutions, to find authentic self-expression and put it into tangible form, to create new systems and structures that are based on authenticity, a new vision for the world, for the future, new solutions, innovative thinking. Those are some of the themes, and I've talked about those in other videos. But what happens is that as the moon goes through Leo, it activates that square. It forms a T-square, and that happened late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, depending on your time zone. But it's active in the energies throughout this particular Leo moon. So there is maybe some challenge coming up for you around self-expression, around knowing what that looks like, how to do it, what it means to be authentic, how to live and shine and share your light in the world by being yourself instead of what the world expects of you, perhaps. And that authenticity is so important to creating a world that is healthy and happy and whole in the collective for all of us, because we need each of us to be who we truly are and living our lives that way. So some sort of challenge could be coming up for you around self-expression. And here is some insight that might help you understand and or reframe what is showing up for you about the best way to express yourself for your zodiac sign. Again, this is going to be just a tidbit of what is possible when we look at self-expression and the whole and the picture of the whole. And I've got mini readings available on my site, Astrology Heals. So if you'd like a little deeper dive into your particular chart and what self-expression looks like for you and what could be coming up, I encourage you to schedule that mini reading, astrologyheals.com. So, but let's get a little insight here into zodiac signs as we look at starting with Libra. And I'm trying to find my share button. Here it is. And let's look. Okay. Try it again. Hang on here. There we go. Okay, thank you for your patience. All right. Okay, so starting with Libra. Libra has the highest possibility, highest potential for self-expression when it comes to expressing inner peace, finding and expressing and working through issues of balance, of justice, of harmony. So, ability to access and actualize the greatest good for the whole, the greatest good for the group, for the partnership, for whatever it is you're looking at. And of course, having healthy relationships, healthy dialogue, healthy communication, and the ability to see other perspectives and balance other perspectives with your own. So not making your own perspective smaller to make others more important, but bringing that balance through having your own perspective, but also the perspectives of others, and ability to see that greater whole. So that's the highest expression of Libra, and how a Libra sun person can put those things into action, right? Through focusing on relationships, through focusing on helping people get along with each other, through focusing on what do different people in the group need, and who's getting left out, and how do we need to be inclusive and balanced and fair. And of course, justice is a big part of that. And accountability when things aren't in balance, right? Having accountability for bringing things back into balance, and responsibility for doing that. And some of the pitfalls or the lower possibilities, if your sun sign is Libra, are that potential to self-sacrifice, to overly compromise, to make yourself, your needs, your perspective smaller, not important, not heard, because you might be letting your own needs go unmet for the sake of maintaining the peace, of pleasing others, of making other people happy, being a people pleaser, being nice. So some of those pitfalls for Libra sun are being overly accommodating, right? Wanting other people to be happy, and that feels like balance, but in reality, balance means truly balance, having your perspective be important, other people's perspectives also be important. And then, of course, there's that tendency to waffle, right? Some indecisiveness, or like, well, maybe this would be good, but maybe that could be good too. And I can see your point. And so, so that can be a pitfall for Libra energy. So if you can notice any tendencies you might have to be indecisive or to waffle on taking action, reframe that. Look for, where is the balance? What is needed here? What is going to help the whole? And how can I make choices and decisions that, at least in my in what I'm seeing right now, would help to bring balance, would help the be in the best interests of all. So that's Libra. And then if you have a Scorpio sun, the higher possibilities of self-expression for Scorpio energy is to embrace this ability to feel things profoundly, the ability to move energy, transformation, healing at deep levels. So dealing with things that are sacred, shamanic, dealing with deep healing and transformation that leads you to empowerment, that helps you heal old stories of trauma or victimization, that allows you to build trust, to develop true intimacy, to have soul connections with others. Those are going to be the highest possibilities for Scorpio sun sign expression. And then some of the pitfalls, of course, are to have an imbalance or misuse of power, being secretive, using power in a way that's manipulative, feeling ashamed, feeling unworthy, prone to abusing power, having getting involved in relationships where either you are abused or you are the abuser. Can go both ways, sometimes both. We might, Scorpio Sun people might have, and for all of us having Scorpio energy somewhere in our chart, we might have some even past life situations where we've abused power, and how that might show up in our day-to-day life and relationships. So watching out for that, and some of our tendencies to maybe not be as honest or forthright in our truth. So difficulty trusting, being seen as intense, putting people off because your energy is too truthful, or a button pusher, perhaps overly identifying as a victim. So watching for some of those pitfalls, looking for ways to reframe and to see yourself, and the possibilities that are there when you step into your healing. And then if your sun sign is Sagittarius, some of the higher possibilities for Sagittarius sun sign expression include the ability to integrate information and to tell stories, to reach conclusions, to find meaning, to summarize, to integrate. So higher education, the ability to tell positive stories, stories that inspire and heal, that help people be optimistic and have faith. And of course, with Sagittarius, the themes of travel and the ability to explore new places and new ideas. Some of the lower possibilities, pitfalls, if you have a Sagittarius sun, are being dogmatic, being stuck in your views. Some of the ways that you might be preaching or teaching and then have that become something that you're stuck in and inflexible about. And, we can see this happening in religions or other situations where people live under a particular paradigm. Being attached to a single truth that excludes other points of view, being ungrounded or flighty, tendency to leave, tendency to avoid. Those kinds of things are some of the lower possibilities. So seeing and noticing if those show up and how they might show up for you, and how you can reframe that into really your highest potential of being someone who can see the big picture and convey that big picture through education, through broadcasting, through publishing, and help others through those avenues. And of course, to be a source of healing and inspiration rather than a source of constriction and restriction. And then if your sun sign is Capricorn, the highest expression can be a sense of groundedness, really a ability to be dependable, responsible, reliable. I mean, these are things that don't sound sexy, but are really important, right? So having that sense of inner authority, the ability to plan and build strong foundations from a strong sense of self, from not just self-confidence, but from self-trust. So that higher possibility of Capricorn energy is being in a place of self-trust that allows you to create structures, systems, to help to organize, do administrative work, anything that helps keep things organized and moving forward, a plan, and that integrity that can contribute to leaving a legacy, to something that is lasting, to something that has some strength and a structure and a foundation that can carry on into the future, no matter what the future may bring. And then some of the lower possibilities, pitfalls for Capricorn Sun is a tendency to be rigid, a sense of self-sacrifice, of burden, of poverty, of being overly responsible, stuck in the past, living according to rules and limitations rather than possibility and flexibility. So becoming too rigid, becoming too much someone who adheres to the way things are supposed to be rather than having that flexibility and openness to see where the structure might need to bend and adapt and adjust. Authoritarian energy can come from that rigidness, from a tendency to be overly attached to the way that things are or have been. And so Capricorn energy brings need for flexibility. And when Capricorn Sun can be flexible, then there's that ability to step into those highest possibilities. So reframing and self-awareness is always the key. Self-care. And then if you have an Aquarius Sun, there's this potential for being innovative, for solving problems at new levels, thinking outside the box, insight, having a kind of objectivity that allows you to see where the solutions lie and not get attached in emotional needs or complexities, having that objectivity that allows you to see what needs to happen. And through that, being able to bring positive change, to think about the future and the vision and what is needed and what's possible and how we can bring about change, revolution, rebellion to bring about a better situation for all. And so revolutionizing the status quo to become something new, to become something more energizing and exciting. Lower possibilities, pitfalls are that objectivity can sometimes come across as overly rational or logical. It could be that with Aquarius Sun energy, there becomes too attached to a vision, an ideology, a way that we think things should be or should change. And so attachment gets us kind of stuck in a rut of rebellion for the sake of rebellion, thinking that things need to be a certain way, and having an attachment to what that is going to be. Emotional unavailability is another thing for Aquarius energy, because it's so rational, it's so detached, it's so in that world of ideas that it's almost like a Spock type of, doesn't compute, feelings don't compute. So noticing that, being aware of it, working with it, reframing it, and taking care of yourself so you can step into the higher possibilities. And then finally, last but not least, we've got Pisces Sun, and some of the higher expression for Pisces Sun is spiritual fulfillment, having a sense of meaning and clarity and connection to a bigger picture. That ability to feel the universalness of love, unconditional love, of belonging and feeling like you belong in the universe, like you're part of the greater flow of the world. That connection, a connection to compassion, to love, and an ability to walk in the world in a way that you share and express that compassion and that love. An ability also to go with the flow, right? Unattachment, ability to move and flow, to be intuitive, and to let go. That ability to let go of a need for things to be a certain way. So some of the pitfalls or lower possibilities for Pisces Sun are picking up on too much, being a psychic sponge, absorbing other people's energy, losing sense of self, not knowing where you end and another person begins. goes along with confusion about boundaries, confusion about what's real sometimes, illusions, delusions, confusions, addictive tendencies, a tendency to look for that spiritual fix or that feeling of belonging through substances. And so a need to work with that to find the spiritual connection and meaning without needing the substances. And then also a tendency to be intangible about things, right? Which can make it hard to accomplish goals because you're in the flow. You're in that intuitive space and not staying attached to an outcome. So noticing any of those tendencies, those pitfalls, how they might show up for you, and taking care of yourself in the way that you need to step into some of these higher possibilities. And of course, recognizing what it is that it is your soul really looking for. What is your soul really craving? Are you maybe looking for a quick fix because you don't have that sense of connection to a bigger picture, to a feeling of meaning and purpose in your life? And is there something healthy that you can first foster and nurture to have that bigger feeling of connection? So there you go, all 12 zodiac signs, self-expression, and what it can look like when we're being our very best selves. And so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you maybe watched for your own sun sign, maybe you want to go back and watch for someone else that you love or care about, and see a little bit more about how that might play out. And I hope it's useful to you. I really appreciate your being here, you're watching, and I hope that if you're noticing the challenge to being authentic and expressing yourself, that hopefully this has been helpful. And of course, I do have mini readings at astrologyheals.com. Can give you a little more insight into what's happening in your specific chart, where your sun sign, where your sun is in terms of the house, what other planets it might be related to. There's a lot more information we can get. So love to do a mini reading for you. They are $39. Check it out, astrologyheals.com, and I send you the recording. And you've got it to listen to as many times as you want. All right. Thank you so much for being here. It is a joy and a pleasure, and I'd love to hear what you think. All right. Bye for now.